So in this video we will be learning to write a program that is actually about calculating an electricity bill. So as you can see in here, I have this question. It says write a C program to input electricity unit charge and calculate the total electricity bill according to the given conditions. The first conditions, it says for the first units, each unit is 0.50 units. For the next 100 units after the 50 units, each unit is 0.75 units, and for the next 100 units after 150 units, which is this 50 units and this 100 units. Meaning if you have like 250 units at this step, and then that last 100 units will be charged to a 1 rand 20 unit. And for units above 250, you will be charged the 1.50 unit. So let us get started. This is basically a program that is to calculate the total bill for the based on these conditions and the number of units that have been consumed. So let us get started and see where does this takes us. So we will say empty file and say, as always, we start by the header file. We will say hashtag include, and we say stdio.h. We'll close this again and we go and say main. We open the brackets and close them as always. What am I doing now? And close them as always. And now we open our brackets again as we always do in each and every programs of ours. So now we don't know whether the number of units that have been consumed will be a whole number or a decimal number. So to be on the safer side, let us use float, not integer. So we will say float. And what are we dealing with? We're actually dealing with units, because the number that will actually be entered by the user are the units of the electricity, that are the number of electricity units consumed. And where along the way our program, as you can see, we will have to calculate the electricity bill, and we will even have the surcharge. I don't know how to pronounce this, but yes, there's no school for pronunciation, but the surcharge of as you can see, it says an additional surcharge of 20% is added to the bill. So meaning in here, that's actually what we are going to deal with. So in here we'll say float units, comma, and say total bill. We will be dealing with the total bill also, so it's safe that we introduce it in here, total bill, comma. Okay, so like total bill, and we say surcharge. And we're writing our semicolon. Now let us move. We know that most of the time our very first step is instructing the user on what to do. So we will actually be displaying a message that will actually tell the user what to do, what at what time. So for that we will be using printf for the user to actually enter the number of electricity units that have been consumed. So we will say printf, and we say enter the number of electricity units consumed. Now we're actually telling the user to enter the number of electricity consumed, because that's actually what we are dealing with in this program. So we say, okay, don't forget your semicolon in here. Now we use our scanf to read the information that has been entered by the user on the keyboard. We now say scanf percentage float. So we use F for float, and we say put our comma. We did say most, those are the units in there, so we say and units. Write it exactly how you wrote it in there, and don't forget your semicolon again, and then you move. Now we're going to our conditions now. The first condition says, for the first, if the number of units that have been entered by the user are 50 units, each unit in those 50 units will be charged as 0.5 units. So our condition will actually be like, if we are using an if statement, so we'll say if and say units are less or equal to 50. Then our computer, this is what our computer has to print. We will say then our computer have to print bill, which is, it's not bill in our case, we said total bill is equal to units multiply by 0.5. I will say 0.50. Why am I saying units multiplied by 0.5? Do you know why? It's because we said this says for the first 50 units, each unit in there will be charged as 0.50 units. So we actually have to say like the units which are 50, for each and every unit in that 50 will be charged 0.5. So we take those 50 units and multiply all of them by 0.5. So that's why we say we will be saying the units multiplied by 0.50. And we know if the units that have been added, maybe it's exactly 50, then it will say 50 multiplied by 0.5, and we will get our total bill if this condition is satisfied. Okay, so that's it, and you write a semicolon, and then this is not the only condition. Let us go to the next condition. The next condition says for the next 100 units, it should be each unit in the next 100 units will be charged 0.75 unit. So you say else, if you're not using if now, else if, and you open your brackets and you say units less or equal to 150. Why am I saying 150 while it's written 50, it's written 100 there? This question is actually, I would say, iyatungilana. Like they say, it starts from here and comes here and comes here. So this condition is more of a one sentence condition. Like it's a, I don't know how I can explain it, but you don't just go and choose to use this one. It's a one thing, but you have to apply it. I don't know how I can put it, but this is the first units, and this is 100, meaning 50 plus 100, that it's 150. So that is when this condition is going to apply. But if it's only 50, so it's actually like you're gonna use this condition only. But if the number of units that have been entered now by the user are like more than 50 but less than 150, meaning this 50 plus 100, this condition and also this condition will apply. And when you move in here, if the number if the number of units that have been entered by the user are more than 150, which is this 50 plus 100, but are less than 250, which is this 100 plus 100 plus 50, then both of these all of these three conditions will apply. And if the number of units that have been entered by the user are more than 250, then all of these conditions will apply. So you don't just choose to go with one condition, you apply all of them accordingly, and this one will apply anyways. So let us move. We say if units is less or equal to 150. Why did I write that? And now if unit is less, then you're saying now the computer should actually print that bill. It's not printing, but the computer should actually say that the bill is equal to, you open the brackets now because there's a lot you're going to write, your 50 multiply by 0.5. I will explain this line, let me write it, but I will explain this line by 0.5, and you close them again and you say plus, and you say, you open your brackets again, you say units, which is those units that are left after you have subtracted that 50 units, and you minus those units by 50 is like minus those units by 50. I will explain it. I don't know if you get me now while I'm writing, but it's a very simple, not complicated. But so multiplied by 0. What did they say? It is 0.75. So you say 0.75, and you close your brackets and you write your semicolon. So what is actually happening in this line is that you now have the user entered the units that are more than 50. So meaning this first condition applies and the second condition applies. Why in here am I saying? I said it will, since the units that have been entered by the user now are more than 50. Now you will first apply the first condition, which was for the first units, each unit is 0.50. So you will say now, okay, let's say the user have entered 130 units. That has said the number of electricity units consumed are 130 units. So you will say that, okay, in that 130, you first apply this condition. You take the first 50 and say, okay, the first 50 will be multiplied by 0.5. And then since you've already taken the first 50, you say the units which were 130 minus the 50 you've already used, and you say 130 minus 50, I think it's 80. So this is basically 130, which was the unit that were entered in here, minus the 50 that is already used in here, meaning the first condition, and you multiply the left units by 0.75, which in our case that I just said, it's 80. So you say 80 multiplied by 0.75, and now this condition is satisfied. But that is not the only condition. Now you have another condition again, which says for the next 100 units, each unit will be 120, meaning if the units are more than 150 but are less than 250, then this condition will have to apply. Now you say else. If you say else if again, and you say else if, and you say units, and if the units are less or equal to, okay, let me space in there, are less or equal to 250. If the units are less or equal to 250, what did I say? 250, 100 plus 100 plus 50, that gives 250. Then your computer should actually say in the string total bill. Why did I say bill in here? It's total bill. Total bill. It's an underscore. I used an underscore in here. You should actually use what you used in here. Like I used an underscore. So total bill. So it should say total bill is equal to, and then now you have units that are more than 150 but less than 250. And now meaning both, like all of these conditions apply, the first condition, the second condition, and the third condition. As I did previously, you will say is equal to 50. You use the 50, you separate the first 50 units for this condition. You say 50. Okay, you say 50 multiplied by 0.50 plus, and you say plus. Now you say, I don't wanna say, since the number of units you have entered are now over 150, meaning it's guaranteed now that you have 100 in here. You say 100 multiplied, what did the condition say? Multiplied by 0.75. And now after this, you can now say, now you open the brackets. You say, let me open two brackets. You can now say units, which is the left units, multiplied minus by the already used 150, which is this the first 50, the second 100, which is this first condition, the second condition, which is minus 100. And then you take this, you say the units minus 150, and now you can now multiply by that 1.20. So you say 1.20. That's what you do, and after that it's your semicolon. That was the third condition, and that is not the only condition. We have the last condition, which says else says like this. We have our else, and you say else. Else says for unit above 250, each unit will be charged 1.50 unit. So you say else, and you say, you open the brackets, and you say BL, which is whatever the number it is. If it's above 250, BL is, which is not bill, total bill, because we have written total bill in there. You don't say bill, just not unless you have written bill in here. Say total bill, just like you wrote in here. Total bill is equal to, and you open the brackets again, and you will apply all of the conditions, because all of them they apply, and you say 50 multiplied by 0.5, and you close your brackets. 0.50, let me write it like it is written in there, and you say plus, and you open your brackets again, 100 multiplied by 0.75, yes, 0.75, and you say plus 100 multiplied by it says 120 multiplied by 120. Why am I saying 120? 1.20. 1.20. It says 1 plus, now plus, and you say open your units that are left, minus 250. The 250 is guaranteed because we said the units are over, are actually over 250. Minus 250. So yeah, minus 250, and you say whatever that is, you multiply it by what did they say in here? They said 1.50. You say multiply by 1.50, and don't forget your semicolon. I know that's not a semicolon. It's not moving. Forgive me for that. Yeah, so it's actually like that. It's actually like this, but this is not the end. There's this now. It says an additional surcharge of 20% is added to the bill. So whatever the bill is, or whatever if the condition that was satisfied in here and that was satisfied in here was this or was this or was this, whatever that total bill is, it can be this one, this one, this one, or this one, like whatever it is. You will say now surcharge, I can't write the surcharge, yes, surcharge is equal to the total bill, which is your total bill, your underscore, which is multiply. It has an 20% added, so you multiply it by 0.2, because you know when you change 20%, when you change from percentage, you say 20 multiplied by 100. So 20 divided by 100 is 0.20. So that's it. And your actually bill now, your actually bill that you have, which is your total bill, will have to be total bill is equal to, why am I writing plus, is equal to surcharge. That is your total bill. That is your total bill. So that's basically how you do it. And you say now you have to since you have the surcharge, you have to tell the user that you have also included the surcharge and all of that. Now you will say printf, something that will be printed on the screen. You will say printf, and you will say total electricity bill including the surcharge, and you write it as exactly how it is in here. You say total electricity bill, total electricity bill including this. You want it to be clear for the user, or like to the user, or like what actually happened in here. So you have to write it exactly as exactly like how it is. So you have to write everything so the user could actually understand what is going on. So which is total bill, total underscore total bill. My screen is very small. I have to continue doing it like this for everything to actually fit in. So total bill, and don't forget your semicolon, and you return to 0. I hope we don't have any errors, hopingly, because this is very long than usual. I hope we don't have any errors, because that would take us back. We already have one in here, semicolon. So let us run it. Hopefully we don't have errors. And compile. You say compile current file. You can save it however you want. Seemingly we don't have any errors. If we had errors, you would see a small box somewhere in here. You would see a small box next to the line that has an error. So now let us run it. Let us assume we will be, let us say let us run. It says enter the number of electricity units consumed. Let us say our electricity units were, let us say 300. I want to see all of those conditions. Total electricity bill including surcharge is 59.00. You see, like I want you to write down, the steps are the step I wrote. Okay, let me do this. This step, there's this step, the last step. We said in this video our electricity units consumed is 300. So say total bill is equal to, and you like apply this step and do this and see if you'll get 59. Hopefully you will. So that was it, and thank you for watching. Hopefully you have understood everything clearly.